Hello everyone, this is J Mill. Today we're gonna be going over the types of women to avoid as a godly man. See, according to the book of Proverbs, you must be equally yoked with one another, with the man of course being slightly better than her, of course. Like you both need to be like have something in common biblically, like at least know scripture as much as she does, but better, so that you can lead her and she can follow you. Because, like, for example, every time you see female podcasters, they always believe what the internet tells them. When you listen to a male podcaster, they watch news, they watch clips of news videos, and then they give you their perspective. The point I'm trying to make is, you know, we got all these men saying, oh, women shouldn't preach on YouTube. Well, they can, but not to other men. They're all if they're just preaching like their born again experience, they're reading from the Bible, they're preaching to other women, that's fine. They shouldn't be preaching to other men according to the book of Timothy. So many people take the Bible out of context, and they again, people always think, oh, the Bible makes men oppress women. According to the book of, I think, Peter or James, I have to see which one, but I saw that if husbands mistreat their wives, God won't hear their prayers. If wives disobey their husbands, that's a sin, because women are more guided by their emotions and men are guided by logic. When women usurp their authority over men, then the men are gonna start acting feminine because they're being influenced by women on a daily basis. The men are gonna start acting emotional. That's why it's important as men to, guard yourself against being tempted by lust. Because if you give in to them, you give in, and you're like, okay, I'll cater to whatever she wants. So here's the point I'm trying to make. If you're dealing with a woman, whether it's a female friend or girlfriend, if all she does is talk trash about her ex-boyfriend's, gossips about him, or makes hateful remarks about him behind his back, and if she especially talks like that about all of her ex-boyfriends, yeah, chances are she's gonna talk bad about you next when you leave her or stand up to her. Well, guess what? That's not your problem, that's hers. Or if or worse, she treats her male friends like garbage, or uses them for validation to push her boyfriend away because she's too immature to communicate and break up with him up front. And those type of women typically have issues at home, especially with their father. Some of them will talk trash about their fathers, and say, oh, like, he was a jerk, he was abusive, he left me. or she doesn't talk negatively about her father, but she never says to him Happy Father's Day and doesn't even care about him. It's like, okay, if that dad did abuse her, well, I mean, that was wrong, but the thing is, like, that doesn't mean we should prejudice against her. It's her responsibility to heal herself. All you can do as a man is show her compassion, give some advice, but don't be her white knight and her savior, cause now if she's emotionally damaged beyond repair and she uses your compassion against you, you just gotta put her in her place and then move on from her. You can still forgive her, but at that point, forgive her from far away. Because if you keep trying to change them, you'll end up emotionally damaged yourself. And the next type of woman, if she's constantly disrespecting you in public or in private, or publicly humiliates you, shows you affection, then ignores you, on and off, kind of the hot and cold stuff. It might be bipolar disorder, borderline personality disorder, or uses other men to provoke a jealous reaction out of you all the time. Like, you'll know the difference between joking versus being straight up disrespectful or being a cheater. Like, usually you can tell when, liking other guys' profiles or giving them attention while being dry with you just to provoke a jealous reaction out of you. Now, I want you to keep in mind that early in the relationship, usually women are gonna subconsciously test you, like test your confidence unintentionally without realizing it, so that they can trust you to protect them and lead them and provide for them. Typically, like, the most common tests are she ignores you first, then she disrespects you, then she subtly provokes a jealous reaction out of you. If it's unintentional, she does it without realizing it. She wants to make sure that she can trust you. If she's just joking around and, you confront her about it, then she'll stop doing it. Now, if she's one of those women where you confront her about it, she acts confused constantly, then does it again, then acts confused, or finds new sneaky and manipulative ways to disrespect and provoke you. Yeah, those types of women, you gotta put her in her place and move on. Also, those types of women can't keep a relationship, and that's why she comes across guys that'll either end up yelling at her, being weird with her, or will attract abusive and creepy men if they don't have any self-control, or clingy men if they're simps. But if it's a gentleman, like I said, a gentleman will just tell her the truth and move on. Okay, number 3. If you're a godly man and you come across a woman who's an agnostic or an atheist, I fell into this trap recently. Because being a guy, I thought maybe if I, convert her to Christianity, yeah. You never ever do that. Like, yes, you should preach the truth about Jesus Christ to them and the true scripture. Yes, you can do that. But don't do it to convert them and then, pray that they become your wife. Because I made that mistake before. It does not work. That's why the book of Proverbs says you need to be with someone equally yoked with you already, someone who's already biblically experienced. Like let the atheist or agnostic pray to God on their own. But don't do it with the expectation of them becoming your wife. Alright, number 4, a lukewarm Christian woman. They say they're Christian because they want a godly man, but in the form of a Prince Charming, a bodybuilding gorilla jock, or a bad boy. Yeah, those types of women are just Christian in name only. Or a Christian woman who loves you but doesn't love God. She just wants a godly man but doesn't really love God. This is why as men and women should be putting God first. I mentioned this in the Rules of Men and Women video. Both men and women should submit to God. If a man submits to God, then the woman will submit to the man, but she should put God first. That way, in case the man mistreats her or abuses his authority over her, she can cry out to God and in order to figure out what to do about this abusive or creepy husband. Now, just to be clear, women do not have to submit to creepy men or men who make perverted jokes all the time. You do not have to submit to those guys. That's why you men, if you're gonna approach women, never be creepy or perverted. That's also a good way to get a restraining order on you if it's a stranger. Now, if you're just asking them out and then they call the police to falsely accuse you, then they're the problem, not you. But if you were harassing them and you were being creepy and perverted, or worse, you send them inappropriate pictures, well, that's a good way to go through a stressful legal court battle, have to pay a lot of money to hire a lawyer, and pray you don't go to jail, all because you did something stupid. That's why, men, use your brains and don't think with your, well, you know what, I'm not gonna say it here. Alright, what else? Trying to think of... that's pretty much all I have to say for now. If you like this video, give a like, subscribe, or a comment, and I'll see you on the next one.